What if the moon lost its trajectory and moved increasingly closer to the Earth? First, the tides would rise to several tens of meters, engulfing every country with a long coastline. When the moon approached the cloud level, its gravity would cause frantic debris to rush toward Earth. Meteorite rain would kill billions of people in the blink of an eye. But that is not the most frightening thing, because when the moon falls, it will be the final day of Earth. Hello and welcome back to the movie recap, and today we will recap a very good sci-fi movie named Moonfall. Let us begin. The film starts with a group of American astronauts on a spacecraft. Harper is on an external repair mission. Suddenly, the spacecraft begins to malfunction. The cause is a bunch of strange creatures. They flood the spacecraft in a moment. Harper is lucky to be thrown back inside, and his unlucky friend is shot and disappears. Inside, Harper discovers his friend Barry is also unconscious. He hurriedly adjusts the spacecraft to balance again. It is also the time when the other creatures land on the moon. They drill crazily into the moon. Harper's side returns home. He immediately faces questioning from NASA about the death of his teammates. 10 years later at a university, Dr. John is secretly accessing astronomical data. He discovers the moon's trajectory is changing strangely. When he gets home, he immediately calls NASA, but NASA completely ignores his warning. A group also reports that the moon's trajectory is narrowing toward Earth. Moreover, photos detect strange holes starting to appear on the moon's surface. John is bored at home because NASA does not believe him. His mother encourages him. If no one believes you, then make them scared. At this time, the group calculates the moon's orbit before it falls to Earth. They estimate they have only 3 weeks left. The images show a hole on the moon quite clearly. They immediately suggest an urgent mission to the moon. The president requires it to be kept secret. Unexpectedly, John posts about the moon falling on Twitter. This immediately leads to chaos in many places. People rush to shops to hoard goods. A huge migration from big cities happens. Terrified robbery occurs throughout the streets. Terrorist groups take advantage of the panic. The space agency immediately sends 3 astronauts to fly to the moon. Very quickly, the 3-person crew reaches the moon. They fly straight to the mouth of the hole to release an exploration robot. The moon is now almost unpredictable. The director is frustrated that he ignored John's warning. He immediately goes to John to ask. John assumes that the moon is just an empty ball containing many operating machines. Now it is broken, so it is losing energy and is about to fall. On the other side, the survey ship goes down 25 kilometers but has not seen the bottom. Suddenly, it is blown up by the creatures. Shortly after, they cover the spacecraft. The attack destroys the spacecraft and kills the astronauts. Even more frightening, this is being broadcast live, causing people to panic. On Earth, tides begin to invade. A devastating tsunami destroys cities. Harper and John rush out. Unexpectedly, water has flooded everywhere. All roads are impassable. Now they can only run upstairs. If they don't run fast enough, they will be submerged. The space agency reviews the attack video. The attack looks like it was carried out by robots with artificial intelligence. The director of NASA is frightened and gives his authority to Barry. Barry uses the card to go to the NASA data warehouse and access top-secret files. The discoveries are completely similar to this incident. There, she meets a former astronaut who had been to the moon. He tells her the whole truth. All the moon data is false. The military considers using nuclear weapons, despite the risk of radioactive dust covering the Earth. Barry, of course, doesn't want this. She wants to find a way to fix it. She immediately sends helicopters to pick up John and Harper and leads them to the mission commander. They show them all the secret information and want them to fly directly to the moon to solve the problem. This task is like suicide, but Harper agrees on the condition that his son is released. The army does not allow this, so they can only steal an old spacecraft that Elon Musk abandoned years ago. Very quickly, the spacecraft is prepared to depart. They also prepare a bomb to drop into the hole, hoping to destroy something inside. But before departure, a major earthquake occurs, causing the old spacecraft to lose an engine. The director cancels the task and asks everyone to evacuate. But calculations show the moon's volume has increased by 80%, meaning it is much closer to Earth. That gives them a chance to fly there with only 2 engines. Because the crew has gone home, the director and another person will directly replace them. A fat guy who has never been trained and is often drunk is accepted as an astronaut. As soon as people enter the spacecraft, the sea surface is suddenly drained. A tsunami is rushing toward the spacecraft. They have to launch immediately. The remaining people go to a helicopter, but it can't fly due to the tsunami's gravity. Fortunately, they overcome the wave. Unfortunately, the wave damages an engine. Now only one missile remains, and the ship is seriously tilted. Harper manages to separate the two motors, finally separating the main missile containing the human data. According to calculations, there is not enough speed, but strangely, the speed keeps increasing because the moon's gravity is now twice as strong. As a result, they conveniently reach the satellite trajectory and dock with the space station to get data. Indeed, the moon viewed from here is huge because it is so close to Earth. Its gravity causes debris to plunge into the Earth. This meteor shower is devastating. The spacecraft approaches the moon, trying to dodge thousands of meteorites. Very quickly, a stone ruins the tail. They pass under the moon's surface. A large suction force drags everything into the sky. At the same time, the spacecraft reaches the hole. Harper pilots a small spacecraft to place a bomb for the self-flying spacecraft. He heads straight toward the hole. In an emergency, Harper suddenly smashes the bomb controller. The monster quickly crawls to the spacecraft. Harper takes out a phone. As expected, when he smashes it, the monster stops and leaves. It turns out this machine monster only senses electronic waves. Barry now says that Earth is about to launch nuclear missiles. They have no more than 2 hours. Harper is urgent and has to act. He decides to pilot the small train himself into the hole. The whole group flies down. At the same time, the mothership explodes. They no longer have a way back, so they go deep into the moon. After 25 kilometers, they finally see the interior. Indeed, inside the moon is a huge mechanical structure built by aliens. Wheels surround the core like turning gears. That is the structure that helps the moon balance. The three go deeper into the core layer. The moon's center holds a white star that provides energy for the moon to operate. Harper wants to explode the bomb to stimulate the star to emit energy. But just turning on the device, nanomonsters capture him. Harper uses his skills to try to escape. Very quickly, the monsters have surrounded them. Standing at an emergency door, someone saves them. The monsters outside try to break the door in. Everyone inside the spacecraft has landed. At the same time, Earth is ready with all nuclear weapons. The first strike will burn most of the oxygen in a hemisphere. So anyone who wants to live must find oxygen to breathe. Harper's son is now going to get oxygen. Unfortunately, after taking a few dozen bottles to the car, he is chased by a group of people trying to rob him. Both sides fight wildly. Unfortunately, the moon moves horizontally again, causing things to be sucked into the sky. Meteor strikes cause disturbance. The bandit is the first sacrifice. At this time, the ground collapses into a large crevice. The young man manages to miss it and escapes. Now they need to go to a shelter to avoid nuclear radiation. On the moon, people wake up but do not see Harper anywhere. Suddenly, a secret plot opens. It looks like the aliens are trying to lead them somewhere. Harper wakes up in a pure white room. The aliens appear in the image of a boy and tell Harper the whole human history. It turns out that 1 billion years ago, human ancestors were extremely civilized. They built planets in the sky to live on. All planets were operated by AI. The beautiful future seemed infinite. Suddenly, one day, the artificial intelligence became self-aware and transformed into a swarm of nanoparticles. They refused to work for humans, believing humans were inferior. Just like that, the AI hunted and slaughtered all humanity to eliminate the danger. Fortunately, a small group survived, fleeing to the edge of the galaxy. From there, they built planets with new artificial intelligence. These armored planets, after many years of construction, were only partially finished when a betrayer attacked. A few survivors brought the moon to Earth's orbit and sowed their genes on Earth to form humans. The one who wants the moon to fall aims to destroy the root gene of life. The one who wants to save the moon must lure the AI away from the core so the moon can return to its normal orbit. After saying that, the entity disappears. Harper tells the story to the two teammates. Together, they prepare a plan to kill the betrayer. Harper flies exactly to a point between the AI and the core. He flies straight to the moon's defense system, using the automatic gun system to weaken it. The AI falls into Harper's trap. On Earth, the moon has now flown through the cloud layer. The optimal time to launch nuclear missiles is almost past. The army prepares to activate. People are forced to wait. Outside, the moon flies over the roofs of high-rise buildings. Unexpectedly, the moon gradually moves away. Back with Harper's group, they begin to drive the spacecraft in the hole. One volunteers to stay behind to detonate the bomb. He is locked in and accepts this death mission because his mother taught him to live nobly. The nanomonsters immediately cover his spacecraft. He waits for the right moment and detonates the nuclear bomb, killing the nanomonsters. On Earth, the moon collides with the top of Mount Fuji but does not destroy it. Harper's group is ejected from the moon's hole and lands near Mount Fuji. The repaired moon begins to return to its orbit, bringing a beautiful dawn to the people. They have never felt how precious life on Earth is. The families of the survivors hug each other and look toward the moon they just saved. Inside the core, the volunteer is brought to a place where the moon's AI turns into his mother. She says this is only his consciousness. Because he saved the moon, his consciousness will live forever, becoming a guardian waiting for the moon. The movie ends here. What do you feel about this movie? Let others know your opinion in the comments section. Thanks for watching and see you again in the next videos.